Today, I have prepared 4 horror stories for you. Enjoy listening. Share your opinion in the comments. It was a crisp Saturday evening when my friends from work and I received an intriguing invitation in our group chat. Hey guys, let's check out this new pop-up haunted attraction called House on a Haunted Hill tonight. Who's in? The message, sent by my adventurous colleague Sarah, sparked excitement among us. Despite some initial hesitation, we all agreed it would be a thrilling way to spend our evening. As we gathered outside the attraction, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The facade of the old mansion loomed ominously before us, its windows dark and foreboding. Sarah, ever the daredevil, led the way, followed closely by our group. Mark, the joker of the pack. Emily, the cautious one. And myself, caught somewhere between excitement and apprehension. Inside, the dimly lit corridors echoed with eerie sounds, and shadows danced on the walls. Nervous laughter escaped our lips as we navigated through the maze of spooky rooms, each more terrifying than the last. Yet, despite our initial fears, we found ourselves having a blast, relishing the adrenaline rush that came with each scare. As we ventured deeper into the attraction, the atmosphere grew increasingly unsettling. Suddenly, amidst the chaos of flashing lights and echoing screams, a real sense of danger gripped us. In the dim light, I caught sight of a figure lurking in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with malice. Before any of us could react, the figure lunged forward, striking out at Sarah with unexpected force. Shocked and bewildered, we watched in horror as she crumpled to the ground, clutching her arm in agony. "What the hell?" Mark shouted, rushing to Sarah's side as Emily and I stood frozen in disbelief. Panic spread like wildfire through the crowd as word of the attack spread. People screamed and scrambled for the exits, desperate to escape the nightmare unfolding before them. Amidst the chaos, the assailant vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a trail of confusion and fear. Paramedics arrived swiftly, tending to Sarah's injuries as police swarmed the area, searching for any trace of the attacker. Questions swirled in my mind as I watched helplessly, wondering how such a horrific incident could occur in what was supposed to be a harmless haunted attraction. In the aftermath of the attack, shock and disbelief lingered among us like a thick fog. Sarah, though shaken, assured us she would be okay, but the trauma of the experience was etched on her face. As we waited for the authorities to conclude their investigation, the reality of what had happened sank in. News of the incident spread like wildfire, drawing attention from local media outlets and sparking outrage among the community. Questions arose about the safety measures in place at the attraction and how such a tragedy could have been prevented. Rumors swirled, painting a picture of negligence and incompetence on the part of the organizers. Determined to seek justice for Sarah and hold those responsible accountable, we banded together to uncover the truth behind the attack. Armed with determination and a sense of righteous indignation, we delved into the murky depths of the attraction's history, uncovering a web of deceit and corruption. As we pieced together the puzzle, we discovered disturbing evidence suggesting that the attack may not have been an isolated incident. Reports of previous safety violations and complaints from former patrons painted a damning portrait of a company willing to sacrifice the well-being of its customers for profit. With mounting pressure from the public and authorities, the owners of the haunted attraction were forced to face the consequences of their negligence. Amidst public outcry and mounting legal action, they announced the permanent closure of the house on a haunted hill, citing concerns for public safety. Though closure brought a sense of closure to the ordeal, the scars left behind by the attack would linger long after the attraction faded into memory. For Sarah and our group of friends, the experience served as a sobering reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of standing up for what is right. In the wake of the tragedy, we found solace in each other's company, drawing strength from our shared experiences. Though the events of that fateful night would haunt us for years to come, we refused to let fear dictate our lives. Together, we vowed to move forward, embracing each new day with courage and resilience. And as we stood on the threshold of a new chapter in our lives, we knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, united in friendship and solidarity. I stare at the crumpled flyer in my hand, the words "Haunted House Experience" glaring back at me. A friend had invited me to join them tonight, promising thrills and excitement. But as I read the details, a chill crawls down my spine. Haunted houses. The very idea makes my heart race, my breath quicken. Yet there's a part of me, buried deep beneath layers of fear and trauma, that's intrigued. Maybe facing my fears head on is what I need. I toss the flyer onto the coffee table and reach for the half-empty bottle of whiskey. Liquid courage, they call it. I pour myself a generous glass, the amber liquid glinting in the dim light of my apartment. One drink won't hurt, right? As the whiskey burns its way down my throat, I feel a familiar warmth spreading through me, numbing the edges of my anxiety. With a shaky hand, I roll a joint, the sweet scent of weed mingling with the sharp tang of alcohol. This is my pregame ritual, a misguided attempt to numb the pain that lingers beneath the surface. But tonight, I tell myself, tonight will be different. I'll conquer my demons, face them head on, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find some semblance of peace in the darkness. The haunted house looms before me, an imposing structure bathed in flickering lights and eerie shadows. The line snakes around the block, a motley crew of thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies. I take another swig of whiskey, the burn dulled by now, and steel myself for what lies ahead. With each step closer to the entrance, my pulse quickens. My palms grow slick with sweat, my breath coming in shallow gasps. But I press on, fueled by equal parts dread and determination. Finally, it's my turn to enter. I hand over my ticket, trying to ignore the way my hands tremble. The attendant gives me a sympathetic smile, as if they can sense the turmoil roiling beneath the surface. I step through the threshold, the darkness swallowing me whole. The air is thick with the scent of fear, a palpable presence that hangs heavy in the air. My heart pounds in my chest, a steady drumbeat of terror. But I push forward, my footsteps echoing in the empty hallway. Each door I pass seems to whisper secrets, taunting me with the promise of what lies beyond. And with each passing moment, the weight of my decision bears down on me like a leaden weight. I find myself in a dimly lit hallway, the walls lined with faded portraits and cracked mirrors. The air is thick with the scent of mildew and decay, a tangible reminder of the passage of time. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves. But the whiskey and weed offer little comfort now, their effects dulled by the overwhelming sense of dread that surrounds me. As I move deeper into the hallway, the shadows seem to dance and shift, taking on a life of their own. I can feel eyes watching me from every corner, unseen specters lurking just out of sight. My heart races as I round a corner, coming face to face with a figure shrouded in darkness. For a moment, my breath catches in my throat, my mind conjuring up images of all the horrors that lie in wait. But as the figure steps into the light, I realize it's just a mannequin, its blank stare devoid of life. I let out a shaky laugh, the sound echoing off the walls. Just a stupid prop, I mutter to myself, trying to shake off the sense of unease that clings to me like a second skin. But deep down, I know it's not just the mannequin that's unsettling me. It's the memories it stirs up, the ghosts of my past that refuse to stay buried. I stumble into the next room, my senses reeling from the onslaught of stimuli. The walls are painted a sickly shade of green, the floor littered with discarded toys and broken furniture. I can feel the panic rising within me, threatening to consume me whole. My heart pounds in my chest, a frantic rhythm that matches the pounding in my head. And then I see him, my father, standing in the corner of the room, his face twisted into a cruel sneer. I blink, trying to dispel the hallucination, but he remains stubbornly there, a specter from my past come back to haunt me. No, I whisper, my voice barely audible over the pounding of my heart. You're not real. But he advances towards me, his footsteps echoing in the empty room. I can smell the sharp tang of whiskey on his breath, mingling with the scent of stale cigarettes and sweat. I stumble backwards, my mind racing with 1,000 thoughts and memories. The sound of his voice, the feel of his fist springing down on me. It's all too much to bear. And then, just as suddenly as he appeared, he's gone. I'm left alone in the empty room, shaken but somehow still standing. I flee from the room, my heart pounding in my chest. The whiskey and weed churn in my stomach, threatening to make a reappearance. But I press on, fueled by a mixture of fear and adrenaline. The next room is even darker than the last, the air thick with the scent of decay and despair. I can hear the sound of dripping water in the distance, a steady drip, drip, drip that echoes in the silence. I move forward cautiously, my senses on high alert. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of fabric sends a shiver down my spine. And then I see her, my mother, huddled in the corner of the room, her eyes wide with fear. I can see the bruises marring her skin, the haunted look in her eyes. I reach out to her, my hand trembling with a mixture of fear and longing. But she fades away before my eyes, a mirage in the darkness. Tears prickle at the corners of my eyes as I collapse to the ground, the weight of my memories crushing me like a ton of bricks. I don't know how long I sit there, lost in a haze of fear and despair. But eventually, I force myself to my feet, determined to see this through to the end. The next room is brighter than the last, the harsh light blinding after the darkness that preceded it. I'd shield my eyes, blinking away tears as I try to make sense of my surroundings. And then I see it. A door, standing at the far end of the room like a beacon of hope. I stumble towards it, my steps unsteady as I reach out a trembling hand. As my fingers brush against the cool metal of the handle, I feel a surge of hope flood through me. This is it, I realize. This is my chance to escape, to leave behind the darkness that haunts me. With one final push, I fling open the door and step out into the cool night air. The sounds of the city wash over me in a cacophony of noise and life. And as I walk away from the haunted house, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. I may still carry the scars of my past, but I refuse to let them define me any longer. I stumble out into the night, the cool air a welcome reprieve from the stifling darkness of the haunted house. The sounds of the city assault my senses, a chaotic symphony of honking horns and distant laughter. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my racing heart. The whiskey and we have long since worn off, leaving me feeling raw and exposed. But as I make my way home, I can't shake the feeling of unease that lingers in the pit of my stomach. The memories of my past still haunt me, their specter looming large in the darkness. And yet there's a glimmer of hope shining through the darkness, a sense of possibility of redemption. As I reach my apartment, I pause for a moment, the weight of my decisions settling over me like a heavy blanket. But then, with a shaky breath, I push open the door and step inside. It's not much, my small apartment with its peeling wallpaper and threadbare carpet. But it's mine, a sanctuary from the chaos of the outside world. And as I collapse onto the couch, exhaustion washing over me like a tidal wave, I can't help but feel a sense of pride. I may still be haunted by my past, but I faced my demons head on. And for tonight, that's enough. I never thought I would set foot in a haunted attraction again after what happened to me years ago. The memory of that fateful night still sends shivers down my spine. But here I am, standing in front of the gates of the local haunted attraction, trying to muster up the courage to step inside. As I enter, the familiar scent of fog machines and anticipation fills the air. My heart races as I make my way through the dimly lit corridors, each step echoing in the empty space around me. Despite my apprehension, there's a strange thrill in being here, surrounded by the unknown. I finally reach the main area where the attractions begin. People are bustling around, dressed in elaborate costumes and makeup, ready to scare the wits out of anyone who dares to enter. I take a deep breath and join the ranks, determined to face my fears head on. As I navigate through the maze of twisted hallways and eerie props, flashes of memories from that fateful night come rushing back to me. The screams, the darkness, the feeling of being utterly helpless, it's all still so vivid in my mind. I try to push the memories aside, focusing instead on the task at hand. I'm here to conquer my fear, to prove to myself that I can overcome the demons of my past. But with each corner I turn, the feeling of unease grows stronger, like a shadow lurking just out of sight. Suddenly, I come face to face with a scene that sends chills down my spine. It's a recreation of the very room where my accident occurred, complete with the same eerie lighting and ominous soundtrack. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest as I hesitate, unsure if I can bring myself to continue. But then I remember why I'm here. I refuse to let fear control me any longer. With a deep breath, I steel myself and press on, determined to prove that I'm stronger than the ghosts of my past. As I venture deeper into the maze, the atmosphere grows increasingly tense. The air is thick with anticipation, and I can sense that something sinister is lurking just around the corner. My instincts scream at me to turn back, but I force myself to keep moving forward. Suddenly, I stumble into a small clearing in the maze, where a single wooden pole stands ominously in the center. Without warning, two masked figures emerge from the shadows, their sinister laughter echoing off the walls. Looks like we've got ourselves a little victim, one of them sneers, his voice dripping with malice. I try to back away, but before I can escape, they grab hold of me and bind me to the pole with thick ropes. Panic courses through my veins as I struggle against my restraints. But it's no use. I'm trapped at the mercy of these twisted strangers. As I hang there, helpless and vulnerable, a wave of dread washes over me. The memories of my past trauma come flooding back with a vengeance, threatening to overwhelm me once again. I can feel the panic rising in my chest, threatening to consume me whole. But then, something unexpected happens. As I look into the eyes of my captors, I realize that they're not just here to torment me. There's a glimmer of something else hidden behind their masks. A hint of empathy, perhaps, or even regret. "Are you okay?" One of them asks, their voice surprisingly gentle beneath the layers of menace. I hesitate, unsure of how to respond. Part of me wants to lash out in fear and anger, but another part knows that they're just actors, playing their roles in this twisted game of terror. In the end, I simply nod, unable to find the words to express my turmoil. As the minutes tick by, I find myself caught in a strange limbo between terror and fascination. Despite my initial fear, there's something strangely exhilarating about being tied to this pole, surrounded by darkness and uncertainty. In that moment, I realize that fear is not always something to be avoided. It can be a powerful catalyst for growth, pushing us to confront our deepest fears and emerge stronger on the other side. And as I hang there, suspended between past and present, I feel a sense of liberation wash over me. I may never fully escape the ghosts of my past, but I refuse to let them define me any longer. I am more than just a victim of circumstance. I am a survivor, capable of facing whatever challenges come my way. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the ropes binding me to the pole are loosened, and I am free to go. As I stumble away from the clearing, my heart still pounding in my chest, I can't help but feel a sense of pride in what I've accomplished. Despite the odds stacked against me, I faced my fears head on and emerged victorious. And while the scars of my past may never fully heal, I know that I am stronger now than I ever thought possible. As I step out into the cool night air, the sounds of laughter and screams echoing behind me, I can't help but smile. For the first time in years, I feel truly alive, ready to embrace whatever challenges the future may hold. And as I walk away from the haunted attraction, leaving the ghosts of my past behind me, I know that I am ready to face whatever comes next. The night was chilly, and a dense fog clung to the air, wrapping around the skeletal branches of trees like ghostly fingers. It was the perfect setting for the haunted house attraction I worked at, but little did I know that this shift would be the one to shatter my nerves forever. As I made my way through the dimly lit corridors, the sounds of creaking floorboards and distant moans filled the air. My heart raced with anticipation, knowing that soon I would be the one responsible for sending shivers down the spines of unsuspecting visitors. "Hey Jake, you ready for tonight?" my coworker Sarah asked, her voice laced with excitement. I forced a smile, though my stomach churned with apprehension. "Yeah, ready as I'll ever be." Little did I know, tonight would be different. As the night wore on, strange occurrences began to unfold. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and whispers echoed through the empty halls. "Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with fear. I nodded, my throat dry as sandpaper. Let's just finish up and get out of here. But fate had other plans. As we reached the climax of the attraction, a figure emerged from the darkness, its eyes glowing with malice. With a blood-curdling scream, it lunged towards us, sending us scrambling for safety. In that moment, my world shattered. The line between reality and fiction blurred, and all I could feel was a primal fear unlike anything I had ever experienced. The incident left us shaken to our core, our nerves raw and frayed. We stumbled out of the haunted house, our hearts pounding in our chests as we gasped for breath. What was that?" Sarah stammered, her hands trembling at her sides. I shook my head, unable to form coherent thoughts. "I don't know, but I never want to find out." We parted ways that night, each of us grappling with our own demons. As I made my way home, the events of the evening played on an endless loop in my mind, each replay more terrifying than the last. When I finally reached the safety of my apartment, I collapsed onto the couch, my body racked with exhaustion and fear. I knew then that I could never return to that place, never subject myself to such horror again. In the days that followed, I found myself haunted by nightmares, each one more vivid and terrifying than the last. Sleep became a fleeting luxury, replaced instead by a constant sense of unease. I knew then that I couldn't go back to that place, couldn't subject myself to the horrors that lurked within its walls. And so, with a heavy heart, I made the decision to quit. I walked into my boss's office, my hands trembling as I handed in my resignation. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I can't do this anymore." My boss looked surprised, but she nodded understandingly. "I understand," she said. "Take all the time you need." And with that, I walked out of that place for the last time, leaving behind the nightmares that had plagued me for so long. With my job behind me, I thought the nightmares would end, that I could finally move on with my life. But the horrors of that night continued to haunt me, lurking in the shadows of my mind like ghosts. I tried to bury my fears, to push them deep down where I couldn't see them. But they refused to be ignored, clawing their way to the surface with each passing day. Desperate for relief, I sought out therapy, hoping that talking about my experiences would help me make sense of them. But even as I poured out my heart to my therapist, I knew that some wounds ran too deep to ever fully heal. As time passed, the nightmares began to fade, replaced instead by a newfound sense of peace. I found solace in the simple pleasures of life, in the warmth of the sun on my skin, and the sound of laughter in the air. I may never fully escape the horrors of that night, but I refuse to let them define me. I am more than the sum of my fears, more than the nightmares that once threatened to consume me whole. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose, I set out to rebuild my life, one step at a time. I may never forget what happened to me, but I refuse to let it hold me back any longer. As I look back on the events that brought me to this point, I can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the journey I've been on. It hasn't been easy, and there have been moments when I faltered, but I've emerged stronger for it. I may never fully understand what happened to me that night, but I no longer feel the need to. Some mysteries are better left unsolved, some demons better left in the past. And so, as I stand on the threshold of a new chapter in my life, I do so with a sense of hope and optimism for the future. Whatever lies ahead, I know that I am ready to face it head on, armed with the knowledge that I am stronger than I ever thought possible.